I'm Zach Anderson, and coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, these gymnasts are looking to back up a strong season a year ago while celebrating a special milestone.
I'm Manny Maradiaga, and one West Virginia head coach's success with the X's and O's led him to triple digits in the win column.
I'm Aaron Parker, and straight ahead, I'll spotlight the new WVU women's basketball coach and tell you about his long journey that led him here to almost heaven. Mountaineer Playbook starts now.
From basketball to soccer, a new arrival to a triple-digit winning veteran, the Mountaineer coaches are making a statement. I'm Riley McAmoyle.
And I'm Zach Anderson. The coaches aren't the only highlighted Mountaineers. We'll show you some star players as well.
These stories and more coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, a sports magazine show produced by sports and adventure media students right here at West Virginia University.
Riley, the WVU women's basketball team has a fresh face on the bench who is already making a splash in the win column.
That's right, Zach. Mark Kellogg had debuted as the new head coach of the Mountaineers, assisting in the early season success. Aaron Parker joins us now in the studio with his segment, Coach's Corner. Aaron?
Zach, Riley, after just one season in Morgantown, former WVU women's basketball coach Dawn Plitzawhite made her way closer to home at the University of Minnesota, leaving athletic director Wren Baker in a tough spot. For his first head coaching hire at West Virginia, Baker went back to his Division II roots to find his diamond in the rough. In the 50th season in program history, West Virginia women's basketball will be entering a new era, as Mark Kellogg was hired to be the team's 7th head coach back in April.
We've loved it here. We've enjoyed it here. It was everything that I wanted it to be.
Kellogg was hired after spending 8 seasons with Stephen F. Austin, where he led the Lady Jacks to a 155-55 record with 2 conference tournament championships and 6 postseason berths. So far in his career, Kellogg's calling card has been defensive pressure, as his team last year forced 18.3 turnovers per game. This stat bodes well for Kellogg in his first season in Morgantown, as last year's Mountaineers averaged 20.5 points per game off opponent turnovers. Aside from the winning pedigree, athletic director Wren Baker had another reason to set his sights on Kellogg for the coaching vacancy. Over a decade ago, as the athletic director of Division II Northwest Missouri State, Baker hired Kellogg to lead the Bearcats for the 2012 to 2013 season and has kept tabs on the up-and-coming coach ever since.
I don't think I've seen him since we left there, which was almost a decade ago. We've talked a couple times a year, and followed each other's families on social media and that kind of stuff. But I just was always impressed with how he's went into a variety of programs at different places and elevated the program.
While Baker had been acquainted with Kellogg in years before, Baker made it clear that the Texas native fully earned the chance to coach at the highest level in college basketball.
I wanted him to come up organically. I didn't want to taint the committee and it looked like I was trying to push somebody. But once he came up, I told him, I was like, he will be a great candidate, and then he continued to be part of our process.
Kellogg and his Mountaineers will look to make Baker proud and win the program's 2nd Big 12 championship. The women's basketball team has started the Kellogg era off strong, as the Mountaineers defeated rival Pitt on the road by a score of 71-62 on November 11th. Zach, Riley, back to you.
Thanks, Aaron. Well, the women's basketball program has a new face taking the helm. The WVU men's soccer team has a veteran who has just marked his spot in the history books.
That's right, Riley. The Mountaineers just concluded their conference tournament, and their win in the semifinal marked Dan Stratford's 100th career win as a head coach. Manny Maradiaga has the story.
January 25th, 2020 was the first day on the job for Dan Stratford as the new head coach of the WVU men's soccer team. After 100 victories and as a former player for West Virginia, he always had a feeling that he would end up right where he is.
Yeah, it was always a possibility, I guess, and obviously now that I'm living this aspect of things, it's incredible. I absolutely love what I get to do every day. It doesn't feel like work. It's the second best job in the world. They have the best job, and mine's second.
One player that has made over 60 appearances for Coach Stratford is senior midfielder Ryan Baer. One of the pillars in this Mountaineer team, he knows how significant Coach Stratford has been for his development.
You know, I actually didn't get recruited by him, so to kind of get him as a coach, I feel quite lucky. And yeah, I'd say he really built me up as a player. Most of the things I've learned have been from him, and yeah, really, really blessed.
Coach Dan Stratford has accomplished a lot as a player and a coach, having not only played the most matches in a single season for WVU with 23, he has also led this team to their highest national ranking in program history when they came in as the number 2 ranked team in the country this season. Although, before his time in charge of the Mountaineers, Stratford helped the University of Charleston win a couple of Division II national championships in the 3 years he was their head coach, learning valuable lessons along the way.
What will dictate the professionalism of the environment and the players' level of ambition and focus is the culture that the people within it create, and that was a really, really valuable lesson.
The main focus now turns to the national tournament for Dan Stratford's team as they look to have more success than they did back in 2021 when they reached the Elite Eight. I'm Manny Maradiege reporting for Mountaineer Playbook.
Riley, the soccer team has sure made the most of their season, but one player in another sport, football, is making his mark too.
That's right, Zach. It's beanie season, but not just because it's getting colder outside. Cornerback Beanie Bishop has made a name for himself at Milan Puskar Stadium. Patrick McCabe joins us now in the studio with his segment, Playbook Player of the Week. Patrick?
Riley, Zach, the football team has found the star player that has elevated the secondary this season. Our football correspondent Andrew Corbett has the story.
When WVU turned to the transfer portal to help rebuild the defense, they didn't expect to find someone this impactful.
We play hard, and you know, obviously we got we're improving every week. We just have a lot of things to work on. Just getting better day by day, week by week.
After transferring from Minnesota, Bishop has found his role in Morgantown. He leads the country in passes defended with 19. He also has 4 interceptions, which is good for top 20.
But no, Beanie's played at a high level. He's been around the ball a lot. And so, that was huge, especially the first one we got because they were driving and then we immediately turned that into a touchdown.
Not only is Beanie Bishop making his impact felt for WVU this season, but the NFL scouts are taking notice as he looks to become the next first rounder for WVU.
In addition to leading the country in pass breakups, he also leads the nation in passes defended with 22. It's the 3rd most in WVU history.
The last time I was in front of you guys, told y'all guys we want to lead the nation in takeaways, and I kind of want to be able to lead by example, and any way I can get the ball, interceptions, fumbles, any kind of way, like being able to, try to change the game with that.
With just 1 game left on the schedule and Neil Brown's best season potentially on the horizon, Bishop looks to finish strong heading into the 2024 NFL Draft. I'm Andrew Corbett, reporting for Mountaineer Playbook.
Bishop was recently named as one of 20 semifinalists for the 29th Chuck Bednarik Award, signifying the most outstanding defensive player of the year. The winners of the Bednarik Award will be announced as part of the ESPN Home Depot College Football Award Show, which will be broadcast live on ESPN on December 8th. Zach, Riley, back to you.
Thanks, Patrick. In January, the WVU gymnastics team starts their season.
However, this year is a special milestone, as 2024 marks the 50th anniversary of gymnastics at WVU. I have the story of what it means to the newest generation of gymnasts. Just around the corner in January of 2024, the WVU gymnastics team is celebrating the program's 50th anniversary, which is a special milestone for 5th-year gymnast Abby Pearson, as the team's leading scorer over her career with more than 1,400 points.
But we recently just celebrated Linda and the work she did, and seeing what it was like in the beginning, that it wasn't the glitz and glamour with the sparkly Leos that we get to show in the Coliseum. that there was a lot of hard work that went into just getting it started. So that allowed me to be a little bit more grateful, see really where we came from.
The team began its first season at the WVU Coliseum in 1974. Then, after only 1 year, a pioneer of the sport named Linda Burdett Good took over the program as head coach in 1975, taking the Mountaineers to national prominence across 37 years. Now, with 12 seasons as the leader of the program, current head coach Jason Butts cherishes the 50th anniversary and the celebration of women's athletics at West Virginia.
It's exciting to be a part of it. It's a great representation of women's athletics, especially in West Virginia. And it's, provided a lot of education, a lot of opportunities for young women over the past 50 years that otherwise wouldn't have been there.
Right here, West Virginia gymnastics became nationally recognized in multiple ways across 51 seasons, making 4 NCAA championship appearances since 2000, including a jump to the Big 12 in 2012. Pearson has been dominant in her 4 seasons as a Mountaineer. However, this 50th anniversary is a time where she reflects on the number of lives that this program has changed.
I think that kind of captures this 50th anniversary is just that how many lives that we were able to touch during this time, and that people get to come back and say how amazing their time was here.
The 50th anniversary will be celebrated during meets throughout the season, starting on January 7th against Temple, when these WVU gymnasts look to build on history. The gymnastics team has a successful history since the program's inception in 1974, and last season, the team was ranked as high as 30th nationally, Riley.
That's great news, Zach. Well, January isn't just the start of the gymnastics season. It's also prime time to hit the slopes.
Ski season is approaching as fast as the people who go down the mountains. Our Kira Natzadi joins us now from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to explain in her segment, Find an Adventure. Kira?
Thanks, Riley. Zach, with winter right around the corner, more than 18 million Americans are getting ready to shred the slopes. Included in that group is WVU's very own ski team. Matt Palminteri has the story.
Whether it's your first time skiing or you're one of the best, there are 25 active members of the ski club, but the team is always looking for new members.
But just getting to know people, kind of just having a good time in preparation for the season, and everybody seems to be super psyched.
The WVU ski team was formed in the early 1980s and is a part of the United States Collegiate Ski and Snowboard Association. The team has a rich history of success. The last time the WVU ski team won the conference was in 2007. But they consistently place in the top 10 at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Championships.
The team has fierce competition like Navy, Penn State, and Maryland's, and these athletes are expected to have the stamina and the strength to endure 3-hour-long practices. But before they're ready for the slopes, they come here to the Outdoor Rec Center where they get their gear ready for the season.
Students can rent all types of winter essentials like backpacking gear, skis, and snowboards. The Outdoor Rec Center is also offering a Canaan Valley ski trip December 17th to the 21st.
I think the Outdoor Rec Center is a great resource, not only for students, but for the larger community. Obviously, there are lots of parents and children that come here and are able to get a membership. But I think it's really cool that we get to offer personalized gear, because winter sports and a lot of outdoor recreation, it's expensive to go out and buy your own gear.
Whether it's your love for skiing or any other snow sport, Mountaineers can get ready to take on the winter. Reporting for Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Matt Palminteri.
For more information on the WVU ski team, or if you would like to join, you can contact the Instagram page at WVU Ski Team. Riley, Zach, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Kira. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of the cold, but I'm looking forward to the Summer Olympics in Paris next year.
I agree, Riley. In fact, we'll take a closer look at the Mountaineers aiming for their spot in the Olympic Games and those on the international stage.
Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, I'll tell you about the freshman that's been making an impact for the WVU men's basketball team. I'm Ryan Darty, and that story's coming up next.
Coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, I'm
I'm going to be showing you how the Olympics is inspiring the fencing club with their training.
Mountaineers know. Let's go! Really means let's try. Let's create. Let's explore. And let's do it all together.
The WVU men's basketball team is off to a 3-3 start this season, with one freshman that's making himself known on the Mountaineers' shorthanded rotation.
That's right, Riley. Ofri Neve is the 6'6" freshman forward from Israel that's bringing new skills to Mountaineer basketball. Ryan Darty joins us now, live in the studio, to tell us more.
Zach, Riley, Ofri Neve is one of 5 internationally born players on the WVU men's basketball roster. And in his first season of college basketball, he is shaping up to be one of the best freshmen in the country. The WVU men's basketball team is down to only 9 players due to suspensions, health, and pending waivers. But freshman Ofri Neve has been the spark the team has needed, and his teammates have thrived off his energy.
For a kid who the first 3 weeks he was here didn't say a word, and now he's calling for ISOs in the post, and he's like, "Hey, bring it in, guys!" Like, and I love it. Like, I love it. And I'm like, Ofri, like, I mean, a kid, you know, he's 18 years old. He'll play the whole season at 18. We've got incredibly lucky to have Ofri on our team.
Neve signed with the Mountaineers on August 9th. In the weeks prior to his commitment, he was playing for his home country of Israel in the U18 FIBA European Championship, where he was discovered by former WVU All-American and now assistant coach Deshaun Butler.
His coach, the guy who was getting ready to be his coach, was my coach in Israel, and one of the best coaches I've ever played for, without a doubt. If he was going to play for him, I was like, well, yeah, he can play.
Neve was the 3rd international transfer to join the team this offseason, joining Jesse Edwards from the Netherlands and Kerr Karisha from Estonia. In his first start with the Mountaineers against Jacksonville State, Neve recorded 3 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Neve's versatility allows him to play multiple positions, and interim head coach Josh Eilert believes he can be one of the next Mountaineer greats.
He's going to be a very special player. He's already a special player, but as long as he has that growth mindset and continues to get better, he might be one of the best that ever play here as we move forward. That's a big thing to say, but that's how much I believe in him.
The Mountaineers are preparing for their biggest home game of the season so far as the Pitt Panthers come to the WVU Coliseum for the Backyard Brawl on Wednesday, December 6th. The Mountaineers currently hold a 6-game winning streak over the Pitt Panthers, and they'll be looking to join the women's basketball and football team with wins in the Backyard Brawl this season. Riley, back to you.
Though this team doesn't have a backyard brawl, the WVU rifle team is the most successful collegiate rifle program in the United States, with 19 national championships and a track record for producing Olympians. Back in October, 8 Mountaineers traveled to Fort Moore, Georgia to compete in the first round of the Olympic trials, and 3 advanced to the next round. For junior Gavin Barnick, it would be a dream come true to compete at the Olympics after transferring from Alaska Fairbanks. For senior Matt Sanchez, going to the Olympics is a goal of recovery after a time of loss. For 5th-year senior Mary Tucker, after taking home silver at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, she is looking for a rematch. Round 2 of the Olympic qualifiers takes place on December 8th through the 13th in Colorado Springs.
Rifle isn't the only team with Olympic prospects. Redshirt senior Kaylee McCabe of the women's cross-country team is preparing for her turn on the international stage. After being named the Big 12 Women's Runner of the Year in 2021 and 2022, McCabe is looking for redemption after missing the 2020 Olympics by fractions of a second. Ranked 34th globally in steeplechase, McCabe has the right support at WVU with assistant coach Clara Santucci, who has also competed in the Olympic trials. Olympic qualifying ends June 30th, 2024, and with a national championship under her belt, McCabe is ready for the next level of competition.
Not every Olympic sport has a D1 team at WVU. For example, the fencing club has been a part of the university for over 30 years.
That's right, Riley. And fencing has been around for thousands of years. Kira Nadzadi explains.
Roughly 3,000 years ago, fencing was discovered in Egypt as one of the ancient civilization's techniques for dueling. Between the 14th and 15th century, fencing eventually evolved from a military practice that prepared soldiers for war to a sport designed to challenge the mind.
You not only have to be physically in shape and skilled at the sport, but you also have to be able to mentally process within split-second decisions, and so it can really challenge you mentally and physically. So I think it's a great sport for people who aren't traditionally athletically inclined because it works more the brain than the body.
In 1896, fencing was one of the 5 sports to be included in the first modern Olympic Games.
There are 3 different types of fencing that men and women can qualify for: épée, foil, and saber. Each one has a different set of rules, all based around the type of swords that they use.
WVU has their own fencing club located in Milan Park Expo Center in Morgantown. The WVU Fencing Club follows the rules and guidelines set in place for Olympic fencing as the club prepares for each match.
It's a very fun activity to do. It makes for, a great hobby. If someone's looking for something to help keep them active and, get a little bit of exercise and whatnot, it's great for that. It helps with coordination, balance, and all that sort of stuff. And it's in my opinion, one of the few sports that you can continue to do well into old age.
Next semester, the Fencing Club will participate in the Holy Grail tournament taking place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm Kira Nadzadi, reporting for Mountaineer Playbook.
Unlike other combat sports like wrestling and martial arts, fencing has no weight class because the biggest advantage is skill rather than size.
What an exciting way to get active, Riley. And I can't wait to see swords clash this summer at the Olympics.
I agree, Zach. Well, that's it for this week's edition of Mountaineer Playbook, our sports magazine show where we dive into inspiring stories of coaches, players, and passionate fans who make the sports world truly remarkable. I'm Riley McMoyle.
And I'm Zach Anderson. Please make sure to like and follow our page on Facebook at Mountaineer Playbook. Don't miss the chance to celebrate the heart and soul of the game with us.
We'd like to give a shout out to our behind-the-scenes crew, our producers Garrett Collins and Elizabeth Carey, and our director Jake Held, along with the rest of our crew, Kara, Kaylee, Connor, Sam, Andrew, Brandon, Manny, and Matt.
And the team at University Relations, led by Joe Webb. Without all of you and your support, this show would not be possible. And we can't forget our professors, Chuck Scatterday and Gina Dahlia.
And last but not least, we want to thank all of our videographers. We could not have done our jobs as reporters without your creativity and vision. We leave you now with a short video produced by our videographers, Jake, Seth, Tyler P., and Tyler B.
This is our final show of the semester. Thanks for watching Mountaineer Playbook.